Hey, what's happening, everybody out there in the XRP community? Thanks for coming back to Investment Perspectives. Today I wanted to make a video about XRP and where we headed, right? You know, looking ahead. Before we get into what we're going to talk about today, anything we talk about you can find on my Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradley, BAKKUP, Bradley, LEY, no spaces. So you can find everything we're talking about there, and you can follow me there as well. Keep up on when we have a live stream and stuff, which I will have one coming up probably over the weekend, I would imagine. So I really look forward to that. If anybody wants to check that out, keep an eye out. Make sure you hit that bell notification on the subscribe, and it'll let you know when we have a video and when we go live. So, all right, so let's get into this. XRP and looking ahead. So before we really touch into that, let's just look at just a little bit of stuff that's been coming out. Now, we know there was an article that came out either yesterday or the day before that said there was an Indian government, or the Indian government was using, running an XRP validator node. And I believe Alex Cobb covered that pretty well on his stream and has a really good breakdown of that if you want to check it out on his video. So we know that. And then there was an article that came out this morning that I saw that said cryptocurrency adoption prohibited by Indian banks, and then it forces customers to sign a contract. And even in the article went as far down as to customers screenshotted what the bank has you actually check the box for, like a disclaimer that you will not sign or deal with cryptocurrency. So just to address that a little bit, you know, obviously these things come down in a manner when they're, each country has their own process and how they're introducing new commodities, new products to their system, to their markets. But the only thing I wanted to really touch base on this is that generally speaking, it starts the same way for everybody, right? They have to evaluate it. They put together some kind of task force. There's a review. You know, then they begin to test it themselves on a government level, which may be what we're seeing there with the XRP validator node, which obviously, my personal belief is it's much further along than that. But, you know, and with that being said, you know, at the very least, your normal graduation of how something gets used, implemented, and brought into a system and then the markets, it looks to be this way. So even though that looks like a little bad for crypto to me, it just seems to me I don't know if it's really like a FUD thing. I mean, I think it's really taking place from the screenshots that the person was providing in the article. But I guess the bigger point is that even though I feel like that is a bad thing for crypto at the moment, I feel like, you know, the fact that the Indian government is running an XRP validator node, I can't help but feel like it's a temporary thing, because if they're running an XRP validator node to any extent, it's going to be good for us in the long run. So I feel like whatever this is, it's temporary, probably until they get the proper legislation and regulation in place there as well. So, okay, so let's move on here real quick. And, there was a price prediction that came out recently. It was like $1,000 bullish price prediction for XRP, you know, over time. Listen, I think, you know, I'm not going to dare to guess what XRP could do, but I think it is fairly high. And I think over who knows what amount of time, it could even shatter $1,000 is my own personal belief. It's going to run almost every transaction, if not literally every transaction in the world at some point. So, you know, sky's the limit. That's where I see that. So I'd hate to put a number on it just because of how high it could go. I'd hate to try to cap it, you know. But anyway, so bullish signs on that. And then the article actually went in. This is the Crypto Daily Gazette that actually drilled down further on that. They referenced that price prediction. And actually in there, they had some more reserved predictions where people are calling anywhere from a $10 to $15 per XRP to a $30 prediction by May of 2019. Wow. You know, we've been in this so long. When I read that line earlier, I thought to myself, wow, that's not that far away. That's 5 months off. you know, and which is an eternity times 10 in crypto, right? Because 2 weeks can feel like an eternity in crypto, for goodness sake. So, you know, but when I read that, it really brought some perspective to me. It's like, wow, here's some other analysts out here that are seeing that much of a jump within the next 5 months. So whether it's just us as hodlers that are positive about it or not, and I know we are, but we're also some very researched community about our investment. And I know that because of the great contribution that every one of you make to the comments when you leave down below in the video. So, you know, when you see people seeing the market this way, I can't help but feel very bullish myself, because I already do personally. But it's like, wow, you know, somebody's talking about five months from now maybe being between 10 and 30 bucks. I mean, that's, to me, that's like totally plausible and believable to me. Is something higher plausible? Absolutely. Just because I know what the coin can do, and so do you. You guys know it too. So let's keep this moving, right? And let's move through, because I mean, I don't want to get stuck just on that. But, and look, there's not a ton of news out here right now, and I think we're all well caught up on exactly what's happening, and that's kind of part of this video too. So, all right, so XRP listed with multiple pairs on EU exchange owned by GB.Exchange. Now let's just look at this for a second. It says, with cryptocurrency market undergoing unprecedented shift in prices, many critics of the space are predicting the advent of the infamous bear run. After Bitcoin crashed below 4,000 market, many altcoins followed suit, with the charts displayed a red spread, right? We all know that, right? So in the midst of the price crash, XRP has received some reprieve with its addition on the Gibraltar Stock Exchange, owned by the GBX.DX, which is the Gibraltar Blockchain Exchange Digital Asset Exchange. That's a big one. So, all right, so the addition comes in the wake of XRP's slip from its number 3 position on the chart and succeeding it to Ethereum. XRP will be traded as 5 different pairs: XRP to the dollar, XRP to euro, XRP to GBP, and XRP to ETH, and XRP to Bitcoin. So the announcement exceeded by the exchange stated, we're excited to announce that Ripple's XRP is now listed on the GBX.DAX, world's first regulated and insured digital asset exchange, owned by an EU stock exchange. There you go. The world's first regulated and insured digital asset exchange, owned by an EU stock exchange. Here we go, right? I mean, this is it right here. These are the signals of real action, of real motion by market makers, right? And exchanges and institutions, big money, fundraising. That's the only way all this kind of stuff gets done, and those are the kind of participants that take part in getting that stuff done, right? So regardless of a government shutdown domestically here in the States, the lack of legislation and regulation clarity, whether it be in the EU bloc or on the US bloc, it doesn't matter. This is coming, and that does matter, obviously, but what I'm saying is that it will get resolved. It will be resolved, because you see everyone positioning and poising themselves for this to take place. They're not setting this up well. They're not doing this well just in case it happens. You know what I mean? This is going down. So now, with that in mind, I wanted to talk about another great little article in Roll Call by Professor Chris Brummer, who's really puts out some amazing stuff. I'd follow him on Twitter, and I would follow anything he does. He's great source of information. So they talked about the policy development basically being frozen currently at the time because of the government shutdown, right? And how it's a holdup pretty much across the country. So then it talks about, basically it goes through here and it talks about how the Commodity Futures Trading Commission requested comments on Ethereum and its use of the Ethereum network back on December 11th. And then it basically goes on to talk about how the shutdown isn't helping matters because they're swamped, and when they come back to work, this stuff will still have to be sifted through. So there is an enormous amount of work to be done, as well as legislation that's got to come forth, as we all know, and regulations to follow. And I don't mind saying at some point, classification needs to be a part of this whole bundle also. Because classification, again, I'd like to point out, is really, really key, because there's so many coins in this young nascent market that don't do anything. And I'm not just talking about ICOs. You know, a lot of these coins are promising to solve a problem and have yet to solve the problem or prove they can solve the problem, right? So, you know, look, Bitcoin's out here. Like I agree with Brad Garlinghouse. It's like the Napster. It's showing us what's possible with digital assets. However, it's been surpassed by the likes of Ethereum and Ethereum Classic and XRP and many others to follow, because it's got so many problems now, because it was that early tech that really just showed us what could be done and where we could go. So looking ahead at that, that's what I want to talk about. You know, when we take all this information in, and I know that the price hasn't moved and we get more and more good news, but think of this. Think of this for a moment. All of this good news seems to be falling on deaf ears and deaf hands, because no one's making the price go up, right? But honestly, at the end of the day, all of this is a momentum really put in a slingshot. And I've said this before, but they just keep pulling back the tension and pulling back the tension. And the further they hold back all of this, by the time it's ready to go, it's really going to take off. And you can forget about it. It's going to be a point of no return. And that's where I'm at now. I know that all of this is building us up to a point of no return. And one of those points of that threshold of the point of no return will be surpassing Bitcoin this year. And I don't think it'll be very far after legislation and regulations drop, because when you add in the fact that all the exchanges globally are in compliance under the FATF, they could simply, just in one sweep with that, there are many other things. We know there's 200 financial customers. Forget how many customers. I think it's over 600, they've said, as far as customers go. But they've got over 200 financial customers dealing with RippleNet, right? So just that network, and the fact that all the exchanges are in globally compliance, if they turned and switched and said, you know what, XRP is the coin that really, really does do something. It does do something. You know, other than a slow transaction or a store of value, whatever the hell that means these days. I don't know, because, but XRP is the coin that does something, and believe me, I own a lot of other different coins, but XRP is the one that does something, really, really does something other than just, store value, or, make a transaction between its own network. This can bridge anything, right? So I see, and looking forward, I just see nothing but good news for XRP, and actually the whole crypto space, Bitcoin included, even though I just picked on it. But the truth is, classification will be enormous for this market, this nascent market, because to really get that decoupling happening, you have to have the classification of what each coin actually does. So that way you can start to define the markets instead of trying to look at the markets as an all one thing. It's just a basket of all these coins. There has to be different classifications that really, really help grow a healthy market, I believe. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it right there. It's XRP to the moon for 2019. And look out Bitcoin, because I think you got it coming pretty soon. So enjoy it while you're there, because I don't believe it's going to last much longer. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Hit the like and subscribe. And again, hit that notification bell. We're going to do a live stream this weekend. And I try to keep the live stream really moving smooth. Try to get everybody's questions in and really get a nice back and forth going on. So make sure you join me for that. So take care and hit the like and subscribe. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.